I'm Rob Bass, and I came to get down.
Facebook's up.
I'm not internationally known, but I'm known throughout the microphone.
YouTube is up.
I feel like I'm going to go from Rob Bass right into like the Humpty Dance for some reason. The Humpty Dance, here's your chance, dude.
I have a vague recollection of that.
First you limp to the side like your leg was broken. All right, I'm not going to do my
And Twitch is up.
dance. Okay.
Thank you.
Are we live on everything?
We should be live on
Oh,
everything.
no.
Lovely. I saved everyone out there from having to endure Rocky trying to remember on the spot the Humpty Dance. You're welcome.
Count your blessings, folks.
Yes, the Humpty Dance. Howdy, boys and girls. Welcome to Kilts and Culture. I'm Rocky. This is Eric.
Yo.
Today, special treat. As I move this into view, like it wasn't planned. Swing. I wonder how far it can go before it goes over.
Oh, do you really want to know? Whoa.
Okay.
No,
It's center of gravity.
Side view.
Well, I'm holding glass now, so let's not.
Oh, that's not suggestive at all. Now, we've been laughing about this all week.
Yeah. It's
It's something.
it's a marketing
something.
effort.
Yeah, it's absolutely a marketing effort. Marketing effort. I've never called that before.
So, anyway, yes, Johnny Walker Swing. It's something. It's suggestive.
Was this a gift?
Yes.
yeah.
This was Jonathan King gave us this one.
Thank you,
we
Jonathan.
Are finally, yes, thank you for reminding me. So we are finally getting around to trying this one. It has marketing value-wise, it's pretty cool. It's got kind of like it's not Old English, but like Germanic looking.
No, I call that old. That's kind of Old English.
Yeah. Lettering on it. Top is a nice little thistle thing. I will say they've they've committed the cardinal sin as far as I'm concerned. Not a cork.
Yeah.
How dare they?
You know, scientifically, they've proven that actually screw caps are as effective as corks.
I don't care. I just want a cork.
Fine.
It's fancier.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
So, we are going to... Don't do anything with the tasting notes yet, Mr. Mac. But we are going
Hold
to
up there, Mac.
pour these out. So, little Johnny Walker Swing. Mr. Mac, I have yours.
Little Johnny Walker Swing goes something like this.
Much too much.
I'll know. I won't know that until I try it.
All right. Well, I'll try more. Oh.
Does have a nice color.
Ooh.
I'll give it that.
Grippy hand. Woo woo. All right.
Bottle kills me.
It does. It's creepy on multiple levels.
Yeah, I know. My comment has been that the reason they made it rock like this on the table is because they couldn't figure out a way in the whiskey stores to display it like this.
Or side to side.
Or swinging,
Swinging,
like
yeah.
that, because it's obviously supposed to be
Yes.
swinging. Yeah,
Testicular.
it's a, ha. What does the Scotsman wear under his kilt? Ha ha.
Swinging
So,
bottle of swinging.
Only
Yeah.
Johnny Walker knows for sure. Don't ask how I found out.
Fair point.
All right. So now do we do tasting notes?
Sure. What do we smell? Let's start off with let's us try it first. How does this swinging bottle smell? It's vinegar. No, it's the when I
Like a locker room.
like an old gym bag. Like my jockstrap. To me, it's very, very flowery with like a little bit of plastic.
Just a piquant linoleum overtone, if you will.
Exactly. Do you get the plastic, Mac?
I do, but I'm also the witness is being led here as well. I have the notes in front of me, so
Does it say it?
That's why we had
Johnny
you
Walker.
get the notes. That's why we have him get the notes and we don't. So that, you know.
We've captured the essence of plastic. No,
I get a little bit of a maple.
see,
You call it floral. I call it maple. It reminds me a little bit of maple syrup.
Yeah, it's like a sweet, flowery kind of smell,
Yeah.
but with like the plastic. I don't know. Like if you open, open a case of linoleum or something that has like plastic that's pungent plastic smell.
Off gassing.
Yeah, but it's like it's minor. It's just there.
You know why? Plastic screw cap. Should always go with a cork.
Should have been a cork. There's
a longtime listener named Lucas who says it smells like Planet Fitness.
Lovely.
fair.
Ah, yes. Makers of fine purple and gold whiskey.
All right, taste. Or do we
Sláinte.
want to have Matt give us the notes? All right.
Is a complex and sophisticated with almost perfumed sweetness. Unquestionably soft and accessible, you're sure to notice the fanciful vanilla and sherry cask wood notes wafting through.
Wafting is wafting through.
Is it oak casks or does it say
sherry
what kind
It's
of-
just sherry.
Sherry.
cask.
Okay, I know, but it's
That explains. Okay, I'll give them that.
yeah.
There was sort of the vanilla and sherry kind of explains the maple syrupy tone I was getting. Yeah. I'm biased because I don't want to give Johnny Walker a fair shake, but I might have to. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be okay. Maybe it's going to be okay after all. I don't know.
To harken back to something I think Coraline said at one point about one of them was it's got a little bit of a hairspray smell. Mm-hmm. A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is
have
no water yet, so we'll see. Cheers.
Cheers.
Definitely feel the oak.
May have got a splinter on the way down.
It's super sweet and super
Yes.
short. It's like the flavor isn't going past. I'm not sensing it picking up anything in the back of my palate at all. It's just like, no, you're done.
I have oak in the back of the throat and back of the mouth a little bit. Woody. I don't really get any.
It's definitely sweet.
Yeah, I definitely get a little bit of sweet. I don't get a whole lot of earthy. Maybe a tiny bit.
No. A little bit of iodine, but not a lot.
Yeah. Mac, you look concerned.
No, it's like I'd say almost more on the fruity side of everything.
Yeah, the perfumey, flowery is still hitting me a little bit.
It is hitting my gut.
Oaky? Or
No, just sometimes some whiskeys will hit my ears like, oh no, my stomach doesn't like that. So
sorry.
the rougher things are, it's just like
Yeah. It's not super smooth.
no.
It's fine. I'm not twitching too much.
Right.
But it's not bad.
It's kind of like that lack of smooth. Like if you left this bottle like that for a
give it-
while,
let's give it a little-
let it breathe. Yeah. Okay.
A little water. Let's see what happens. If anyone out there has had it, let us know in the comments. Tell us if you've had swing or your experiences with swinging. No, don't don't put that in the comments. We'll keep that for Facebook.
What happens in the Highlands stays
Yeah.
in the Highlands. I don't know.
All right. It definitely mellowed a tiny bit with the water.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not amazing, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To quote our store manager Ian, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's no
Mac?
avocado. That's fine.
It's not the avocado of scotches, yeah,
Right.
or whiskeys. All right, Mr. Mac, what are taste? Give me the tasting notes on it.
So, smooth and sweet, but its light freshness cloaks a deeper fruitiness with some smoke and restrained flavors lingering beyond. The finish is lengthy and rich, reverberating
No.
with sweetness.
Reverberating.
I almost spit it out over the deep fruitiness. I'm like, is it like closeted? Yeah.
I don't know. Like
I don't know.
I almost like it better when I didn't put the water in it.
No,
Okay.
I think the water helped a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's mostly just a.
It mellowed it out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a caramelly, slightly mapley, like I said, flavor, which is the sherry coming through. It's not as fruity to me as they're saying. I'm not digging on the.
No,
the
I'm not getting fruity.
Or
I like your caramel.
Little bit of iodine, like I said.
I like your caramel analogy. I think the caramel is good. Again, I'm not really getting the fruity. A little bit of floralish.
Yeah, it is not a long finish.
No,
they lie. They lie. Johnny Walker lied to me. It's not a long finish.
those sons of bitches.
Yeah, it's just kind of like I said. It's just like and it's gone. For me, at least.
It's. I don't think it's there and gone for me, but it's not. It's definitely not lingering for a long time. It's not hanging out and playing with the tonsils. It's just kind of like all right, see you. Jump down the gullet.
Right. So
right.
when you're swinging, you don't play with the tonsils. Got it.
Exactly. It's
This show's
especially
going
when
all
you're
kinds of sideways.
especially when you're that deeply fruity. Yeah. It's something. All right.
It's like a metronome for guys who are on a bender. I actually admire the bottle from up front. It's like
From an artistic standpoint, it's something different.
it's like somebody who grew up playing with Weebles decided they wanted to make art. It's like, oh, my dreams come true. I can finally make a Weeble that has class. No, it's not.
Does this mean that Weebles wobble and then don't fall down? Does this mean that if you drink too much of this,
You won't fall down.
you won't fall down?
That would be a claim.
That, my friends, would be an
Be
innovation
genius. Yeah.
in alcohol. Yes. All right, Mr. Mack, score it 1 to 10. And if you want, just because you made the point, if you want to score it with and without water, you can do that. But give me the overall.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go overall. I'm going 1.8. It's not my favorite by far.
1.8?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1.8.
That's low.
Like
dude.
you would refuse this if
I
someone
wouldn't.
offered it to you?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't refuse it. I would still drink it. Obviously, I'm still drinking it, but it's not. It's kind of from everything else we've tasted before. This is just very
Okay.
blah. Like that. There's nothing.
Let me interrupt real quick to make a point based on what Mac just said. In case you're wondering, towards the end of this year, we are actually going to put together a compilation of all the tries we've done this year in 2021, and we're going to have a rundown of our from top score to bottom score, probably from worst score to top, with the top being the last one we list. But we're going to do a compilation video for New Year's of all the tries. So
Yeah. 1.8 is super low, though.
That's really low.
That's usually in the,
That's like
I would say
Smokehead
no.
low.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Smokehead was higher than 1.8. Where do we check that?
I think Mac's getting more critical as he becomes more experienced.
That's a fair point as well. It is your score. I will
It
not.
is. It is on the record.
It is on the record,
It is in.
so let it be said. Done. All right, Mr. Eric, your score, 1 to 10. What do you give this swill?
As swill goes, I'll actually give it like a 4.4. I would drink it at a party. I'd pour it over a fruitcake. I don't know.
You bring out the deep fruity notes
Exactly.
of the deep fruitcake.
Exactly. Just rolling with that whole, it's one joke for the whole show.
Exactly. I'd give it a 5.3. Like, it's fine.
Okay.
It's average.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
It's nothing. Ooh, I have to have that, but it's nothing bad.
Yeah, I could almost go a little higher with my score, but I said it, so I'll stick with it.
Yeah, very good. That's it.
Besides, 44 is my favorite number.
There you go. Swing.
Ask not for who the whiskey swings.
But
It's like a fidget spinner for alcoholics. Okay, that gotta stop.
yeah.
Get that out of here.
All right. Boys and girls, load your questions in the comments. Let us know what you need us to answer, what burning questions you need to know. And I will say this as well. Stick around for the end of the show. We are doing a sneak preview. Eric and I went to Celtic Classic a couple weeks ago, and we took a bunch of different footage there. We interviewed a bunch of the different clan societies and all kinds of different stuff.
Well, we did have help. We had our media guys with us too.
Yes.
So.
Well, there's that. Which you're breaking the magic.
I'm trying to give credit where credit's due.
We'll give him credit later. It's fine.
Okay, whatever.
The
Anyway, we went.
Love you, Tom.
We went. We saw. We conquered.
Yes, indeed. So stick around, check it out. End of the show. We're going to have a little sneak preview about that, and then we're going to chat about it for a little bit before we sign off. So, that being said, Mr. Eric,
About the magic clipboard.
what do we got?
All right, I'm going to start with one which I've been wanting to answer for a long time. Will, I apologize it's taken so long to get to this, but Will O'Hare asked us many moons ago, jewelry, what works, what doesn't? Watches, bracelets, necklaces, even sunglasses. He says he personally thinks they don't go well with a kilted look, but he understands why folks need to wear them. So, I mean, is too much jewelry too much? Are you detracting from your...
Is any jewelry too much?
Yeah. Are you detracting from your Highland stuff?
Yeah. Personally, I am not a jewelry guy. Never have been. I tried. I don't like watches. They hurt my wrist after a while. They annoy me. This is like the extent of my jewelry. So for me, it fits with me with Highland wear, and it also I'm letting my personal opinion color it, but I don't care. The plainer, the simpler the outfit is for Highland wear, generally the better it ends up looking. When people try to do too many things or go too over the top, it tends to detract from the overall look, and I will absolutely put jewelry in that category. If I have on full head-to-toe outfit, and then I want to have on a bracelet on one and a wristwatch on one, a bracelet on the other, and I have my gold chain hanging out, and have, my Super Bowl rings and, my earrings and all kinds of stuff, my gold teeth. It's
Your grill?
Yeah, my grill.
Are you dissing Snoop? You've always liked Snoop Dogg's.
Does he have a grill? I don't think he has.
No, but he's got the knuckle duster ring in that photo that we always show of him.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of jewelry on.
That's who he is. I'm not like, if Mr. T were to wear a kilt, I'm sure he would still wear his necklaces as well. And God knows I will not insult Mr. T to his face.
Okay, that's our Photoshop.
Exactly.
Today.
I pity the fool.
Pity the fool doesn't wear my clan tie.
For me personally, I poo-poo jewelry to a degree.
Listen, Hannibal, I ain't going to no Culloden. You ain't getting me in that fight. I ain't going that more.
Hannibal? Ain't gonna get no plane, Hannibal. Ain't going to no Culloden, Hannibal.
See, if they had had Mr. T, they would have won.
That's fair. He would have scared him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, we digress. Obviously, I prefer some jewelry. I think it's the whole context thing for me. It's like, I think the more formal it is, or the more dignified the gathering is or the occasion is, the more you go with standard gentleman's traditional accepted jewelry. So cufflinks, watch chain, probably not much else. You know what I mean? Now, but the more casually you go, the less of an issue I have with jewelry. I am a little more obsessive about mixing metals. So if you have a gold watch and you insist on wearing it with the with your Highland attire, especially if it's a formal evening thing, and you've got the silver cantle on your dress sporn and all that kind of stuff, I think it's going to look a little odd. It's going to be a little bit more blingy than I would like.
Yeah.
But I don't want to look like John Gotti in a kilt. I don't. It's like the wide open collar and the gold chains and a kilt. I'm not sure would look that great.
No.
It's kind of common sense. It really is. Everybody has their own style. Everybody has their own sense of what it constitutes good taste versus what is opulence. And sometimes opulence is something that you leverage to make a point. So if some guy wants to wear a lot of jewelry because he's trying to make a point somehow, then I could accept that. Like I know a lot of guys who will wear a piece of spiritual jewelry. They'll have a signature piece or two. So like that, that is meaningful to them, and they wear it with everything. So I'm not going to say you shouldn't do that, but I do think that the more elegant you want to look, the more you tone it down.
Yeah. It's kind of an inverse relationship.
Yep.
It's almost counterintuitive, but it just ends up looking better. What's the old rule? For I want to say for women getting dressed, like get dressed, put everything on you want, and then take a few things off.
Something like that. It's like put on all the accessories you're thinking about, and then take away 2 of them or something like that.
Yeah. That.
I don't know anybody who actually does that, but
I don't wear any jewelry, so like put them all on, take 2 off. Like I'd be down to my skivvies.
Done.
Very good. All right, Mr. Mac. Do we have anything from the YouTubes and the Facebooks and the Twitches?
there's stuff coming in. So
Very good. Thank you, boys and girls.
Good to know.
first one we have is Steven from YouTube asking, any tips on wearing or altering Fire EMS Class A coat to wear with a kilt?
Can we
It would depend
make
how
sure we're
long
defining what we're not talking about a turnout coat. We're talking about a dress uniform thing.
Yeah, Class A. Are they generally longer, Mac?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why I was even asking.
I believe so.
Yeah, they're like suit jacket length.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
That's why
that's kind of what I'm
shortening.
If
thinking.
it's... Yeah.
Are they double-breasted with like the fire department buttons on them, or are they single-breasted?
Fire, it
with
might
the
be
tie.
like the chief, like may have a double-breasted, but I think the rest of them are single.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, I think they're single-breasted.
Well, in
Dress.
that case-
He's saying dress uniform similar to a suit coat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you could do it. I mean, we know people who have done DIY projects of shortening Saxon suit jackets to make them work with a kilt. You're going to run into the same problems that you would with one of those projects, namely the pockets. If the jacket has any kind of pockets, once you shorten the bottom hem of the jacket, your pocket flap's going to be like it's just a few inches above the bottom hem. It's going to look really weird. A few people can get away with it. It's not easy. I would almost rather you get an Argyle jacket in a color that is appropriate. You know, if it's not black, then the dark navy, and put firefighter themed buttons on it or something. I think that
EMS.
EMS. Yeah, it's jacket conversions are weird. You need to be really talented to pull it off. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I've seen a few that look fine, but most look a bit dog's dinner. So if it's patch pockets and you can remove the pocket and move it up,
Yeah, but it's not
or
gonna be.
make a smaller pocket, then maybe you'll have a little bit more luck with that. But if it's not that, if it's a regular welt pocket or like a flap over top of a welt pocket,
Yeah, it's the pockets.
Less
it's
so.
all about those pockets. They look odd.
Yeah.
So close to the bottom hem once you cut it down.
Yeah, and it's kind of mixing the streams. I'm personally not a big fan of it. If you can afford it, I'd rather have you get the right jacket for a kilt versus not.
Yeah.
What's up, Mac?
He's saying his has no pockets at all.
No pockets at all.
Well, how
Then
much
maybe
do they
it could work,
do they
yeah.
cost? And do you have a tailor you trust?
Yeah.
Maybe you could get away with it.
And
Would
how
you say-
expensive are they?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Would you do the scalloped
Yeah.
swoop front?
Yeah. Scalp
Yeah.
to allow to see the sporn in the front.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That would be the other thing. As opposed to doing a straight
Yep.
cut across the bottom.
Exactly. A kilt cut jacket. The bottom edge of the jacket should be effectively at or above the bottom of the fill. So around the widest part of your rear end or a little bit higher is effectively where the jacket would come down to in the back.
Right.
So a regular Saxon wear or regular suit jacket kind of thing comes down basically a few inches below the bottom of your fingertips when you have your hands at your side, and a regular kilt jacket is going to be right about or an inch or two above where your wrist measurement is on the side of your body. So there's probably an 8-inch difference between a regular suit jacket and a kilt jacket in the body of the jacket itself. So
Here's the other question: is the jacket single vented or double vented? If it's single vented, that's another area where it's going to look really strange. If it's double vented, that's how pretty much all kilt jackets are made. So that will look better.
yes,
Mac's nodding at me. Like,
agreed.
say, okay.
So hope that helps. Mr. Eric.
You might have a chance if there's no pockets.
Yeah.
But the single vent will make the back look a little odd, I think. All right. All right, so gonna go a little more seasonal here. Stop me if you heard this one before. Oh wait, you can't. This is a broadcast. Jonathan King and Canadied Sim kind of asked related questions to us about winter wear. Canadied was basically saying, hey, we usually have a few questions about casual jacket options. What do you guys recommend? If you're not planning on getting all gussied up, what's a good jacket? We've answered this before, but it's never bad advice. And then Jonathan rounded that out by talking about, how are wool sweaters? Do you have to worry about what kind of wool sweater you wear? What jackets work with kilts, of course. And at the top end, how do we feel about Inverness Capes? Is that a really good option because it's a very traditional jacket kind of a thing, or is it too much? What do we think about those pesky warmth layers?
Yes, so we're going warmth layers, and
Warmth
we're going
layer revival.
Yes,
Refresher.
So, sweaters with a kilt. Sure.
Sure.
I'd say try not to get one that's too long or stretched out, because then it goes down too low or it covers up the front 3/4 of the sporran. When I'm wearing a sweater with a kilt, I tend to tuck it behind my sporran so I don't have to worry about it, covering up too much. And another fact, if I'm wearing a sweater with my kilt, I generally don't wear a belt because it's going to cover up the belt anyway, so you don't really need it. Would you agree with that?
I would. We do have a percentage of people who follow the British military style of tucking the sweater in. And so you have the kilt and the belt on the outside. I don't think that looks good on most guys unless you are super well, tight in the abdomen, really skinny.
Like us,
if you have any kind, if you're
got these 6-pack abs.
I'm gonna rip the shirt off and show you. Now I don't recommend that look unless you really have a military bearing, basically. And then again, also, it's only going to work well if the sweater is like a traditional woolly pulley, military sweater where it's a very tight, very thin weave. I own them. I don't tuck them into my kilt. Conversely, some traditionalists will say you should not wear things like an Irish fisherman's sweater because it's not technically traditional. It's an Irish thing, not a Scottish thing. Whatever. I don't care about that.
It looks good.
It looks good with a kilt. They're heck warm. Super warm. So those are always a good option.
Yeah, and they're for lack of a better term, they're ubiquitous enough now. I mean, like Walmart sells cable knit sweaters, for God's sake.
They're not good.
So, yeah, true. But I absolutely wear cable knit sweaters with my kilts. I have some Scottish knit ones. I have some Irish knit ones.
Yeah.
I have just regular, less expensive ones. No, I guess they're cotton, solid.
Do you have any Faroese?
No, I do not have any feral sweaters.
Feral sweater.
The
Come back, Willie.
No, but sweaters, fine with the kilt. Next, jackets.
Yeah.
He said casual jackets, and I'm assuming he means outerwear, not suit jackets or
outerwear.
Tweed jackets.
Yep.
We tend to say a shorter jacket will look good with a kilt. So whether it's an Ike style jacket, a bomber jacket, stuff like that, a lot of the military stuff tends to be a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
So those look great because it doesn't cover up as much of the kilt. It's the same kind of mentality as with the suit jacket. It's if it covers too much of it, it'll look weird. But if it's a little bit shorter of a jacket, then it'll look good.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that a longer jacket can't look good. Something like a peacoat. I wear a peacoat with mine on a regular basis.
Yeah, a lot of coats are that length I would not like, but peacoats you kind of give a pass to. Yeah. There's something about they occupy a weird space of their own. They're so blocky and everything. They work.
Yeah.
I do think that we always say bomber jackets in all their various forms work really well. If you want something wholly completely practical, I have a duty jacket from 511, which I picked up a couple of years ago, which is basically on a bomber cut, but it's completely waterproof and has a zip out lining. I like that because it's cut short.
Yep.
It's designed for cops.
Yep.
So it's really cut short. So your gear belt is not obstructed by the jacket. So that works really well.
So you wear it with your Batman costume as well, and you have your utility belt.
Yeah.
Batarang.
Exactly. Kiltarang.
Yeah. Indeed. Mm-hmm. Inverness Capes.
Super expensive. Now if you want to get the band spec ones, the ones that bagpipers use just to keep the rain off their uniforms, okay, that's not a warmth layer. That's just a rain layer.
It's warm. It's plastic.
Well, yeah, it's warm, but not in a nice way.
Yeah.
It's warm in a
overheating your body.
I'm imagining those silver running suits they used to try and sell.
Oh
people.
Yeah.
To
drop weight to meet for wrestlers or whatever.
Yeah. So you're running down the sidewalk like a baked potato. I mean, in foil, it's just
it's sweat pouring off your face. They should make them with a hood. So all you see is just
Well, Inverness Capes do. Bank spec capes do come with a hood.
That's true. Well,
yeah, they can.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I mean, but that's like a plastic windbreaker kind of level of
Yeah.
warmth.
It's
I
keep
mean,
rain off. That's it.
Yeah, it's exactly keep the rain off when you have no other choices.
Yeah.
A proper wool Inverness Cape, they're gorgeous. I don't personally care for them with a kilt that much.
For the record, for those of you who don't know, Inverness Cape. Think of like Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
It is a long trench coat kind of length cape coat with a cape off the shoulders.
Right.
And you don't
No
have
sleeves.
sleeves. It's just basically armholes that come out underneath the cape.
Right. It's
so-
designed for shooting.
Yeah.
It's designed for hunting.
Yeah,
basically.
it's a great freedom of motion, but it's when it's done in wool, it can be very, very warm. They're very nice, very attractive, very
Yeah.
classic looking. I don't mind it, but it's not like you can just roll into your local Inverness Cape store and buy one off the shelf often.
Right.
They're very much a specialty kind of thing. But yeah, we've done a couple in the past, but not many because they're really freaking expensive. Like
Yeah,
we had
it's like, what, 500?
like
more?
5 or 6. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're using tweed fabric or black barathea for a dress one and that kind of stuff. So you can wear it; it'll look good with the kilt. If you're going into a black tie event, you can get a black barathea one.
What?
But
What? No.
for out,
No.
no.
You mean just like rolling up on the red carpet out of your limo?
Yeah,
And then you
I mean
take it
like
off?
from the car
I mean,
to the
okay.
door,
Okay.
or to the inside. I'm
That's
not
an-
wearing it to the whole thing.
That's an investment for making an entrance.
Yes,
So you whip it out, whoosh, like Zorro style. It's like, hello,
Yeah.
I am here.
exactly. James Brown.
That's when you leave.
I can't take no more. I can't.
Oh, I can't take no more.
The
Too much whiskey. I can't take no more.
Fair enough.
They're cool, but it's I'm an eccentric, so I'm not judging, but they're definitely an eccentric thing. They're definitely a fogey kind of a thing. It's funny you mentioned Sherlock Holmes because when they came out with the Holmesian tartan, the people who had it woven, they did a model shoot with a guy and they made him a kilt and a matching set, and they did an Inverness cape and a deerstalker cap all in the tartan. It's pretty
a lot.
intense.
That's
It's
a
a
lot.
lot. It is a lot. It is a lot. I don't know. Sometimes I think that an Inverness cape looks good with a kilt. Other times I feel like the length of the cape and where the kilt, the bottom edge of the kilt stop, they're so close together. It just kind of almost competes in my mind.
you look like a flasher.
You look like a flasher. Exactly. I didn't want to go there, but it's kind of
I
like
will.
if you close the cloak, then you
well,
look.
not being
yeah.
a flasher, but,
but-
I'll talk about it.
Yeah. They look awesome when they're flowing out behind. They're very dashing.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
It's
It's
not-
a bit much,
It's a bit much.
indeed.
If you have the scratch,
Sure.
enjoy.
Yeah.
But
Spend all your money on dumb stuff. We'll tell you.
but I would stick with. I mean, but modern nylon bomber jackets, leather jackets are fine. Usually, we'll say.
Yeah.
They're all good.
Casual, maybe a jeans jacket with like the quilted lining or something.
I have a
Like
black-
if it's
I
like
have a-
really casual,
Yeah.
or like a Carhartt jacket that's quilted or something. Max nodding his head over
Definitely
there.
seen guys wear Carhartt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Stay
You have
warm.
anything to add there, Mr. Mac?
No, you brought up about the Carhartt, which we had a couple people saying about that.
Can't beat them really.
Yeah, it's the only. And somebody else asked about sweaters being. Do they make the sweaters shorter because they don't like to roll them up at the bottom or get bunched up at the bottom? I know some people
don't think they
like
do.
that. Some people don't.
Yeah.
I
so-
don't think they really make kilt cut sweaters.
Yeah, there's generally not like a tall and tall guy's sweater and a short guy's sweater. I know Lucas used to wear a sweater that was longer. He loved the sweater, but it was a little bit long, so he'd end up like rolling it up, and it would just kind of like rest on top of his sporran kind of level. So
Yeah.
he made it work, but if you're a shorter dude, then it's you're gonna kind of have to do what you do to make it work.
Get your nan to knit one for you, and you can specify. I was gonna say the other secret weapon is with all this is that the shorter jacket could be a lighter jacket if you have a scarf. Traditional piece of warm flair that a lot of people in America tend to eschew.
Yeah.
So unless they're actors, it's funny because I've known actors who actually do that. They like always have the scarf to protect their voice. But no, a tartan scarf, or even a generic pattern like tweedy, earthy tone kind of scarf. gives you that extra little bit of warmth, and it looks pretty cool. So
I use it to hide all the hickeys.
From when you're swinging.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Okay. Running gag. Nobody who watches the clips will get it. Gotta watch the whole show, guys.
All right, boys and girls. Mr. Mac, was that you or is that Eric?
Oh, that was me.
Was you? Mr. Mac, next one.
Now, the only other question I have on this is, with the Inverness Cape, does it automatically come with a bubble pipe, or do you have to purchase your own bubble pipe?
That's a very personal choice of bubble pipe. Yeah.
I was going to go corn cob. But,
Corn cob?
Yeah. Or the big old
It needs to
ivory
be
one.
the big, like, horn looking thing.
I want to see you with a MacArthur corn cob pipe. Big giant. I'm not compensating for everything.
I don't have to compensate, Eric. I'm swinging. Enough.
MacArthur was totally compensating with that pipe. I'm sorry. But
All right, Mr. Mac.
Alrighty, so our friend from the West meaning the Cleveland area, Sean Smith,
hey, Sean.
What's up?
would like to know, can tweed be custom designed like custom tartans?
Yeah. That's how estate tweeds are developed. Originally, estate tweeds are, I'm not sure how they registered them, but to be honest, but they do keep a record of them. And each estate has a tweed, which is what they would outfit the gameskeepers and the gillies in.
Yeah.
So, yes, there is such a thing as custom tweeds. How you would acquire one and how much it would cost, I have no clue. I know they exist, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you would acquire one being a person here in the States.
Yeah, there's no like tweed design program, so we'll start there. And if it's herringbone, I'm going through the issue that I have mentally with the tweeds. Like, yes, somebody has to design tweeds, so obviously something can be done.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what it would cost. The other issue becomes, outside of cost, becomes viewing it, because tweeds generally have a nice earthy feel and texture, visual texture to it. And the herringbone pattern, or the chevrons, if you will, they're like different colors mixed, so the warp and the weft can be different.
So how could you look at it long distance?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't know how to mock it up. I know Sean, and I know he's already planning it, and he's like, he already has his email open. Rocky, you need to have a tweet designer so I can go on there. I'm going to buy 87 different. I know you, Sean. So the issue is going to become showing a visual representation of it before it is woven, without having to spend all the money to see if you like it or not.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's two different colors mixed. So yeah, it's an interesting concept.
It is an interesting
didn't
concept.
Think about that.
I think usually, again, estate tweeds are designed in a very personalized process. It's very much a bespoke kind of a thing. And so the person who's commissioning the tweed, they're probably choosing something they want based on samples they've already seen, saying, "Oh, I like the one they used over in Abernathy, and I like this one from this estate really well. Can you do something like that?" And then the tweed designer says, "Okay, sure," and they probably weave a sample or something like that. But you're talking about enough tweed to outfit the staff of a large gaming estate.
Yeah.
So that's
Sean's
the
talking about
difference.
enough tweed to outfit himself.
Yeah, which means the cost would go whoop, regardless. But
Yeah. So Sean, email me. I will happily take all of your money and learn at your expense. It'd be fun.
and not to disparage Sean as
No,
as
no,
a man
I love Sean.
as a man of fashion and graceful persnicketyness. But how persnickety do you want to be? There are hundreds of really beautiful tweeds out there. I don't think it's hard to find one that you like, in my opinion, or even several. I mean, I own like 3 or 4 different tweeds. How many do you have in your collection?
Yeah, enough.
Yeah, just basically to go with the
Enough.
tartan. So
Yeah.
it's not hard to find ones that you like. If you're interested in tweed, I think you can find something that will match whatever your particular tartan is or whatever your style is without too much trouble.
Yeah, but there's a lot of tweeds, or tweeds don't necessarily go to match tartans, going beyond what we're
like
talking
they
about.
can,
Yeah,
but-
they happen to
Right.
more than most.
Right.
But there's a lot of them that are browns and grays and like greenish gray or greenish browns or yellowish brown, tan kind of colors.
Hunting colors.
Yeah, that go better for hunting or for estates than they do to match tartans. So if he's looking for something like that, or if the majority of them are that, but he's looking for something to match a kilt, then that may be why he's trying to do
This
something
is
like
Sean
that.
we're talking about. I am assuming that he is planning on figuring out the design of tweed he wants, and then ordering a tweed kilt,
A tweed
waistcoat,
jacket, a tweed vest,
jacket,
enough for his
hat,
curtains. Yeah, hat.
Inverness cloak.
He's gonna do his sofa
plus
in it.
fours.
Yep.
Yeah, and seat covers for his car.
Yep.
Which I'm pretty sure is a Jaguar. Right, Sean? You drive a Jag.
And just put it on his walls, and bed cover. Just wrap himself up in it.
Straight jacket.
Exactly. Coffin liner. It's gonna get enough for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indeed. Let us know, Sean.
Hope that helps.
Mr. Eric.
It is an interesting question. Now I want to
It is.
research.
Yeah.
I want to research.
I never thought about it.
I've seen documentation, very romanticized documentaries about estates and how they operate. It's like, yes, well, the tweed that we ordered for, his lordship is green, and we were very proud to outfit all the gillies last year. But they don't talk about the process of how the design was developed.
Yeah, there was.
So I'd like to know.
What's the company name? Campbell of Bewley or something like
Campbell,
that.
yeah. Yes.
There's a company,
Yes.
I believe it's in the Highlands, who's done a whole lot of estate tweeds and stocks them for different estates in their area. So it is done. I've just never explored the process. So that's actually one of the cool things about this show is you guys asking us stuff that we don't know the answers to. So now I got to look into it.
Yep. Since we're talking about colors and tweeds and things, Jonathan King asked us, should you or could you wear tartans based on the season?
Jonathan King.
Oh.
He's the one who gave it to us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's swinging.
Now I'm embarrassed.
I'm not.
Okay.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, John.
Now we're going to answer your question.
Where was I?
Not because you gave us scotch.
It's gonna
It is
turn out there's
actually
more than one Jonathan King.
coincidental.
Should you or could you wear tartans based on the season, like brown and orange tartans for fall, colored tartans, cooler tartans for winter, or lighter greens for spring? Is that a thing people do? Or could you do it? Could you do it? Sure. Do people do it?
Sure.
How often, though?
Depends on how many kilts you own.
Yeah, real serial kilters, I suppose.
Yeah,
would
if you have one kilt, then that's the kilt you wear, no matter what the season is. If you have multiple kilts, I would say, sure, you can start getting into a fall mood, a spring mood, a summer mood, whatever. Winter, I'll include all the seasons. But yeah, it's
mud,
pretty much. But yeah, it's. I have brighter colored tartans that I'm more drawn to in the spring. I have softer pastel-y kind of ones that I'm more drawn to in the fall. So it's seasons affect us more than I think some people realize.
Yeah.
Whether it's your mood, whether it's music. Like there's music that I listen to more in the summer than I do in the winter. Like I'll listen to more ska music in the summertime because it's upbeat and happy and springtime and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So there's seasonality to everything. So yeah, there's seasonality to clothing and colors for clothing as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's not so much a codified thing for sure. It's not something I've seen people do as a matter of custom, or even consistently. Like I could still decide to wear a dark gray and red and brown tartan in June just because it suits my mood.
Yeah.
But are you more likely to just, even like you said, subconsciously gravitate towards something that feels more seasonal? Sure. And if you're going to let's say you're going to an Easter service at your church, then you may decide to go for a brighter color. If you're going to a holiday party for your office, you may decide to go for something that has red and green in it.
Yep.
You might decide to wear maple leaf. It's hard not to want to wear maple leaf in October or November,
Yep.
It's made for it. Just like you could say Isle of Skye.
When you said Easter,
spring.
When you said Easter, I thought Isle of Skye or Taylor Ancient or something like that. Bax's nodding his head over there like, yep. There's definitely like moods and tartans that will reflect certain moods or certain seasons and things like that. So yeah, it's a thing. It's not something, as you said, that is codified, that is consciously necessarily done, but I know I do it. Yeah, I know I do it on a regular basis.
It is definitely a first world problem. Let's face it, a lot of us only own like maybe 2 or 3 kilts. So whatever. In that case, you can play around with accessories if you want to play with a color. I would say if you're curious about it, don't be afraid to try. Another thing we run into a lot is that guys are raised not to think about their clothes. They're raised not to think about coordinating colors or anything like that. It's not considered manly. And you're not supposed to care about how you look. Just got my cargo shorts, I got my t-shirt, I'm good to go. If you want to explore colors, go ahead and explore colors. Start with accessories rather than a whole new kilt, maybe. but go for it. It's fun.
No, it's one of the things that that you kind of touched on right there. When guys come into the store and they're getting a kilt for the first time, it's fun and funny and amusing and all of it to see somebody get excited about clothing for the first time. And one of the comments I get from wives, on a regular basis is like, I've never seen this man get excited about clothing before. Yeah. He wears a black t-shirt and blue jeans every day of his life, and now he's excited about color. What the hell did you do to my husband? So it's amusing to watch guys get excited about this stuff and kind of like, oh, I can do that, and just kind of like the light switch goes on.
Yeah.
So
unleash the inner peacock. Yeah.
Unleash the peacock.
It really, but it is. It's. I'm belaboring the point, but it's something that we've gotten away from to some degree in modern society and in Western society, whereas it is very traditional and very tribal to show your wealth, your power, your status, and your pride through fancy clothes. That's why that's why you look on the web and that's why fashion exists. That's why traditional garments exist. So.
That's why peacocks have the feathers. It's why birds puff out their chest, and the cardinal, the red cardinal's a male, and the brown one's a female, because the guys are just like, oh, I need a mate. But
I'm waiting for Tom's gonna chop all these quotes into one Easter egg for the end of this show with a freaking swing bottle, and it's gonna be embarrassing as hell.
I need a mate.
Oh man.
Heavens. Yes, indeed. I hope that answered the question, kind of.
I think it did.
But yeah, absolutely. Get out there, try it, do it, match your colors to the season, to your mood, to your hair. Sure. Who cares?
To what your wife is wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Have fun. Exactly. It's why you're doing it.
Life's too short. Life's too short not to.
Indeed. Hopefully my life is long, but yes, life in general.
Mr. Mac.
Short.
I beat you to it.
Mr. Mac.
Well, one thing we haven't done yet is talked about the tartans we're all wearing.
Ooh,
so what tartans are y'all wearing?
So what do you have on back there behind the cameras today, Mr. Mac?
I've got County Down on today.
County Down.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Very fall.
Yeah, it was a conscious decision or a subconscious decision?
He's got the pumpkin shirt on, so I think it's conscious.
It was ironed.
Right, practicality wins out in the end. Okay.
Indeed, Mr. Eric.
I get that. I have the much admired, long sought after, no longer available Scruffy Wallace tartan. It's one of my favorites. Love this.
Yes. And I have on the Shaw Ancient tartan. I just really like it. My wife has Shaw in her family lineage, so
that's cool.
Yeah, I like it. I like Shaw Ancient. Nice, plain, a little complex. A few colors interplay there, but not too bad.
So I think we're a little more matchy than usual today.
Yes.
With the buckles and
we are
the
totes adorbs.
Yeah.
Totes adorbs.
Yeah.
The twinsies.
Mm-hmm. I almost golfed out for the show because it's October, but I decided not to this morning.
Get my little devil horns. Beep beep.
Oh, we got those in Photoshop at least. You got them on the screen.
Excellent. Yeah. All right, Mr. Mac.
All right, so we have Coffin M. James from Facebook asking thoughts on the overkilt.
The overkilt.
Yes.
Can he elaborate on what he means by overkilt?
Because
there's a couple different ways I can imagine.
You guys knew what he was referring to.
Well, my first thought is the
World
kilt,
War II?
the World War I kilt apron.
That's where I was thinking of, like an apron.
Yeah.
Or a kilt cover.
I know that there are kilt covers in plastic that some people have used to keep rain off, and I know there's the.
I'm picturing like grandma's couch now, like the plastic cover.
Right. Well, it's funny because if you look at like hiking rain skirts, there are these plastic bag things with tie strings. You can keep your bottom half of yourself dry.
See what?
And it's basically a plastic skirt to go over your
and when you
shorts.
do that, you end up sweating your butt off anyway. So you soak the clothes from the inside out versus the outside in.
Mileage may vary.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what he means.
Yeah.
So other than that, to Mac's point, the only overkilt I can think of is actually a kilt apron, which was used by the troops during World War I to keep their kilts relatively unmarred by physical labor out in the field. And it's basically a canvas cover with a either it had a separate pocket or just a slit
big pocket
to
right
go through.
There was a pocket on the front. It wasn't canvas. It was actually a cotton.
Oh, sorry. What was it?
It was a cotton.
It was
like
a cotton
or a light linen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go. From the reenactor's
had a
mouth.
couple had a couple pleats, like real shallow.
they're real
like,
shallow, real wide, yeah.
Real shallow, real wide pleats in the back, and it was just basically, it wrapped around the kilt kind of like a bath towel, and then tied with like 2 or 3 ties down the right-hand side.
On the side, yep.
Yep. And it had a big old pocket in the front, like kind of like, not triangular, but like square with a triangle on the bottom.
It was like an acorn shape.
Yeah.
Now, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, let us know in the comments. We are, we've been meaning to do a show, with Mac, going over the various parts of a World War I kilted uniform. We just have not been able to do it because we've been swamped with other projects this year. Yeah, everything.
Kilts.
Let us know if you're interested.
A little bit. Little, you know,
but if
5
he,
a.m.
if
to
he can
7 p.m.
elaborate on what he means by a kilt cover, maybe we can be more helpful. But
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right.
In the
Mr.
meantime,
Eric, do another one?
all right. I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna have a little fun with this now.
Crazy. Get crazy.
You ready? Get crazy. All right.
Let him swing, Eric.
We've had I'm gonna ignore that. We've had a few people ask us about seasonal questions, seeing as Halloween's coming up. But the one I found the most amusing was Doogie Doug, who said, hypothetically, if the Headless Horseman were going for a traditional look, where would he put his cap badge? He's got no head, therefore no hat, therefore catastrophic wardrobe fail. Also, would he wear ghillies or simply brogued riding boots? Should he wear fly plaid with a Jacobite shirt? Could he draw a smiley face on a haggis and fasten that on top as a temporary head so he could wear his cap badge? How would you... Kilted Headless Horseman.
Didn't he carry like a pumpkin or something? No. What did he? Didn't he carry a head or no? What am I thinking? Or it's just...
I have an answer, but I'm waiting.
No. Okay. Kilted Headless Horseman. All right. Where would he put his cap badge? I like the idea of the haggis on the head.
Haggis with a face drawn on it.
Indeed. Indeed.
But then he wouldn't be the Headless Horseman. He'd be the Haggis Horseman. Throwing flaming haggises at people.
Is it haggises or haggai?
Haggai.
Haggai.
Yeah.
Flaming haggai. Okay. I don't know. Where are you going to go with it?
Well, Doogie, if that is your real name.
Dig Dug.
It's a moot point because, as we all know, the Headless Horseman is based upon the Irish death spirit known as the Dullahan, and being traditionally Irish, he would not be a part of a kilting tradition because that didn't happen in Ireland until the 19th century. So he wouldn't be kilted, so he wouldn't wear a cap badge. Ah.
Yeah! Take that, Dig Dug.
Huh. I don't know. I would say he would just use a cap badge as a brooch. Just put it right here. Yeah.
Or he would take the cap badges of his victims.
That's
and make
cool.
a necklace out of it, like Predator, the bone necklace.
Or like a bandolier.
Yes.
Or on his cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That I like that.
Okay, what else would he wear? So, bandolier of cap badges of dead Scots. Getting morbid real quick.
That's Halloween.
Indeed.
Let's see, what else? Ghillie brogues? Nah, I think it'd be riding boots. Definitely be riding boots.
Yeah.
I think I'd give him a great kilt.
Okay.
For sure.
Like Eddie from, little Iron Maiden Eddie.
Yeah. The Highlander, the Highlander album.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I think, but he could keep a head inside his great kilt in the pocket.
Yeah.
Or if he's like scooping up a baby, he could like scoop up a child and stuff it into his kilt in there.
As you do.
Riding.
As you do. Weapons.
I was just going there. I would recommend a Lochaber axe rather than a broadsword, because a broadsword is not really a saber. It's not really a mounted man's weapon. It's a footman's.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's on a horse.
Lochaber axe isn't either, but the idea of this
Yeah.
giant guy on a horse with a Lochaber axe just coming in and scything you down, or hooking you and dragging you behind the horse with a Lochaber axe hook. That'd be pretty BA.
See, I was gonna go back to like Satchel of Flaming Haggis or Haggai. That's the weapon of choice.
Okay.
Exploding Flaming Haggai.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay. Fly blade, like attached at both shoulders to make it a cape. And flying out the back.
It's not very scary noise.
Yes, that's the cape. That's the cape noise.
I'm trying to work whiskey into it somehow.
We could have done your old BS story of the fly plate as a weapon.
that?
Yes.
Oh,
exactly.
sure.
Psh.
Yeah.
Used as the whip with the plate brooch on the end.
Yes,
to
that was
crack
the
people.
my original BS story was
Not true at all.
yeah, the fly blade was actually a convention, not convention. It was a field alteration of a great kilt used by Highland troops that they could basically take the fly blade off, and they had these very heavy brooches at the time, and they would sometimes pack the end of the fly blade with rocks, and they would swing it and use it as a whip, like a cudgel kind of a weapon, like a giant blackjack. Alternately, the other thing they would do is you would take the severed heads of your enemies that you killed and wrap them up in the fly blade, so it was like a bag for carrying heads home. And that is and that is exactly why you have red in so many traditional old tartans, because it basically the blood just soaked into the wool, and so naturally dyed all the tartan red, and that's where red tartans really came from.
He got way too excited about that answer way too quickly.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Indeed. Okay.
For those who haven't seen it yet, we did do a video. I think it was last week I aired it. First of the month we aired it on Irish fey creatures, and the Doulahan was one of the ones in there. So it's my personal favorite. I love the Doulahan.
Yeah, there's a lot of really, really cool Celtic and Irish and Scottish monsters and all that kind of stuff.
Spooks and boggins
Yes.
and all that good stuff.
Ooh.
Yep.
Indeed. All right, Mr. Mack.
All right. So the overkilt.
Oh, back to that. Eh?
We think the people at home.
No. I know. No.
You know where we're going.
Oh, it just hit me like a ton of bricks.
He doesn't mean the boxer kilt, does he?
No.
He means
Okay.
overalls
Yes.
with a kilt.
Oh,
So like the
Rocky
like
just
little girl's jumper.
was this dude trolling
kilt
us the
form.
whole time, and I took it seriously?
Yes.
I got
yes.
totally pwned.
Indeed. I think he's
Damn.
he wanted to see my vitriol and anger a la the half kilt.
Okay. Okay.
With the
All right.
the overkill.
Point to you, sir.
Yes. So for those who have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, congratulations. I'm sorry I'm about to put this vision in your brain. The overkilt was, I don't even know who made it. Did somebody say who made it?
damn near killed him.
Damn near killed him. Okay.
Of course.
They made a thing, and I use the term thing even loosely, where it was a kilt meets overalls meets White Hot Death. Yeah.
So wait. You're saying it's like a kilt with like a bib and straps?
Yes.
Yup.
So it's basically a jumper.
Yep.
It is a little 5-year-old girl's jumper dress.
I know it's
Yep.
gonna be hard to see, Eric, but
Oh.
Oh, that's
Is it for carpenters? Is it like for working guys? I mean,
potentially.
for guys who
it's got
don't
like
want to
pockets
meet
for rulers and.
for guys who don't want to meet girls. It's it is. Yeah.
That's something.
No. That's no. Please stop.
I would sooner wear the hybrid kilt and lederhosen we came up with last month than that.
It's not far.
It's not all.
It's not far off.
Exactly.
Not
Yeah.
far off.
Wow.
At least you have an excuse, and I'll use the term excuse to like cross the heritage. This, it's like you're crossing Farmer Bill with Scotland. It's
Mac Bob the Builder.
We're thinking like pinstripe, like a train conductor's.
There you go.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Conductor's hat.
Yeah, there we.
Indeed. Indeed. Little coal smudges. Yeah. Thomas. Yeah. No. Please stop. Please stop screwing things up. Not everything. Just because you can think it doesn't mean it should
Right.
exist.
Yeah.
They were
Just
too
because
busy.
you can do a thing.
Yeah, they
Doesn't
were.
mean you should.
They were too busy wondering, could they do a thing, to stop and ask, should they do it?
David Tate is saying Farmer Bill has heritage too.
Yep. And if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a wagon.
No.
Quoting Scotty there.
All right. Well, we will. We'll move on from that. So
Please.
we'll get ready for the.
He won that round.
We're gonna get ready for the.
Hey, our ambassador this time around is the incomparable Mr. Scott Sanders. In 2019, Scott became one of our moderators on our Kilts and Culture Facebook group. But for him, it was a banner year for other reasons. That was actually also the year he started his home business of making Celtic wear for dogs. Hence, as you're looking at our montage here, all the pups in the pictures. Scott and his wife got into that business. It's called Angus. Was it AngusAttire.com? Just started that. If you're curious about it, check it out. Now, on the more general heritage side, besides being entrepreneurial, Scott's been into kilting since about 2011. He got married in a Blackwatch kilt. That was his first ever. He's now up to about 14, and he's able to kilt up basically every 3 or 4 days a week. So he's totally a serial kilter. He's in it to win it. And as you can also tell from the photos we were showing, Scott's very highly involved with his clan society. His heritage is very, very mixed. He gave me a list of I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 clans, as well as 3 or 4 6 different Welsh families that his heritage is bonded to. So he's got the multi Celt thing going on, multi Celt. But he is most active with Clan McAllister. That's his primary interaction, and he goes to at least 4 festivals a year to represent the clan there and try to boost their interest in it. And he just recently also became the editor of their national newsletter.
Nice.
So I'm assuming that's purely digital. You can correct me if it's not, but I think it's kind of like he's got helium hand. It's kind of like, okay, I'll do it. But basically, as usual, he had some inspiring things to say. He expressed to me the fact that his heritage became much more important to him after his parents passed away, because it's given him this sense of connection to them, to his grandparents, and then all the way back, basically to, as far as his family line goes, and just how enriching that is. And he loves kilts, and he loves what he does with the clan, because it's a chance for him to teach people about Celtic culture in general, about their own heritage, and to share a piece of himself, basically his family history, his personal story. And he loves kilts because it combines all of that into one single garment. You have the confidence, you have the family heritage, you have the personal style, all that in one thing. His advice for newbies is give yourself the opportunity to experience the freedom of expressing your heritage, your family, and your confidence, and yourself all at once. The good vibes far outnumber the bad. And in the very short time, you will become confident and will walk with pride. He says it's all about family.
Yep.
So
absolutely. So
great guy.
Sláinte. Yep. No, Scott's a great guy. When we needed a moderator for the Kilts and Culture group, he was one of those even-handed, very, very level-headed, very nice, very positive type of guys. So he's, thankfully one of our mods. He's a very nice individual. Love him to death, Mr. Scott.
I think I can't say I would personally dress up my dog in tartan, but I know a lot of people are into it.
Oh, yeah.
So I hope the business does well.
Yeah, me too. So if you have a dog and you need a kilt for your dog or a handkerchief or, a blanket or that kind of stuff, go check out his website. What's the website again?
AngusAttire.com.
AngusAttire.com.
They do everything from just like a kerchief to go around the neck all the way up to a mock Prince Charlie outfit. So it's like, how far do you want to go?
Dude, people want their dogs, like ring bear, bringing the ring down the aisle, all kinds of weird stuff. So they're not weird, just, it's stuff to bring the dog as a member of the family into the thing. So, yeah, awesome.
Pets are important.
Yeah.
Actually. And very important to Highland Celtic culture, too.
Yeah, and him supporting the clan society and stuff like that is awesome as well. It's, part of... spoiler alert! Part of the show that we're doing we're premiering next Friday. Right. We talked to some of the members of the Clan Society, so stick around for the end of this show where we give a preview of that. So yeah, absolutely supporting the Clan Societies and supporting people that want to help you get in touch with your heritage is absolutely important because it helps keep it moving forward.
Yep. You got to put the work in.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Scott.
Indeed. Thank you.
Is it my turn or Mac's turn now?
Mac's turn.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We're still lost in the overkill thing. All right, so we have Chris.
Freaking overkill.
Chris says they've been losing weight, a lot of weight lately, 70 pounds to date, which is amazing. I think I found it all, but
wow.
I need to go that direction. Anyway, and the kilts he currently he's purchased about 15-20 pounds ago. They are starting to get a little loose, even with a belt. Is there a quick and easy way to alter them to make them fit better?
Sure. To alter a kilt, the quick and dirty way to do it, depending on how many inches you've lost and what the way I describe it best is the percentage of the kilt that you have lost. If you are let's say 60-inch waist and you lose 8 inches and you're down to 52-inch waist, you can move the straps and buckles and they'll still be kind of proportionate. If you are 38 and you go down to a 30, it's more like it's time for a new kilt.
Right.
So it depends on what the percentage is. I haven't exactly worked it out in the numbers, but yeah. If you want to just get back into the kilt to be able to use it again, wear it again, go out, live your life, I would say take it to a tailor, or you can even do this yourself. It's honestly not that hard. You take off the 2 buckles on the right-hand side of the kilt and the single strap that goes through the hole on the left-hand side of the kilt, and you shift them all, if you're looking down, you shift them all clockwise and reattach them. So if you lose, let's say, 6 inches, take these 2 buckles, move them 6 inches towards the pleated section, not towards the under apron, and take the strap that's on the under apron and move it backwards 6 inches as well. That will adjust your kilt 6 inches down. So it's a reasonably easy fix. It'll take a tailor or dry cleaner with a tailoring service 10-15 minutes to do. It should cost you $20. It's not that big of a deal.
Now you do reach a point where it's no longer effective.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you're like let's say you're a 45-inch waist and you lose 10 inches, so you're down to a 35. Now you have more of your front apron going around to to your butt versus just staying around half the waist of your body. So if you lose too much weight, it's either a major reconstruction, and it depends on how the kilt was constructed originally, whether you can reconstruct it or not, and or B, getting a new kilt.
Right.
A major reconstruction, depending on who you ask or who you go to, could cost a few $100s, depending on the amount of time and labor involved in it. So at that point, for my money, unless it has like crazy sentimental value, it was your great-grandfather's kilt and that kind of thing. If it's just a kilt you happen to buy that happened to fit your old measurements and there's no real sentimental value attached, for my money, it's easier to sell that kilt on eBay and purchase a new kilt to celebrate your new skinnier you versus trying to take apart and put back together an existing kilt. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's we've told people that for years. But it is definitely a measure twice, cut once kind of a thing. I mean, it's a buckle move, so if you do mess it up, it's not hard to refix.
Yeah,
but
you just put them back on.
Wrap the kilt around yourself in chalk with a piece of chalk, or even tape, where the straps are finally ending up, and then you can see easily where to move the buckle to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's not that hard.
Now, would you say that's a case also where a person could decide to dispense with using the hip strap?
Sure.
Well, it's personal preference, I guess, but
yeah. You can take the hip strap off. You can take the hip buckle off. It's more of an appearance thing than too much of a functionality thing when it actually comes to closing the kilt and making it fit on your body. Most people expect it to be there, which is why it's there on most kilts. But it's not something that needs to be. Would that help with the fit if you're going to lose weight? Sure, to some degree. And you may still have to move a belt loop or something, but it helps disguise the fact that you've moved things.
right?
Because your top strap is generally covered up with a belt. So, yeah. Indeed. Yep.
Good luck with it.
Yeah, it's not that tough. Don't worry. If you take it to a tailor, or don't worry about taking it to a tailor, because it's not a major thing that they're going to screw up. As long as they can use a seam ripper, then they're fine.
Cool.
Indeed.
All
right, Mr. Eric.
My turn?
Yep.
Okay. All right, we're veering into culture a little bit here.
Be warned.
I think this one will actually generate some interesting discussion in the comments, too. Jeff Fawcett, a while ago, and we saved this question until now because it's closer year-wise, to the holidays. With the holidays coming up, He asked, how can you incorporate Highland traditions, both modern or ancient, into your holiday celebrations? He says, my family is a mix of Norse heathen, agnostic, and Christian. Currently, we do a Yule log, and we do straw goats, and we do a Christmas tree. He's wondering what other kinds of things can he do to Celtic up his holidays.
We'll break this into wearing and then, decorating.
Oh, it's all about clothes for you, isn't it? Okay.
I'm a clothes horse.
Okay. I'm a culture horse.
Exactly. For the family event and that kind of thing, well, the clothes one's going to be quick. Wear something that's holiday colored. Done.
With LED lights?
Exactly.
You remember the time
ugly
we did those
Christmas
sweaters?
sweater. Yep.
We did the ugly Christmas sweaters. I had one that actually lit up. We wore it on the show.
We got to do that.
It was
again.
horrible.
Yes, indeed.
It's pretty horrible.
I still love it. I only have one though. I got my Flyers one. That's it. Anyway.
Yeah, that's
sorry.
cool.
So for around the house, what do we do for Celtic holiday season?
I was going to talk about customs and tradition, so why don't you talk about decoration? Because I think I know where you want to go with it. So why don't you lead off with some decorations?
All right.
I'll dovetail on it.
I'm going to focus on tree and food settings.
Right.
So, tree. One, you can do tartan tree skirt. You can do tartan Christmas stockings over the on the mantle or hanging from the mantle. You can do tartan bows hanging from the tree. They sell those at a lot of the CVS and that kind of stuff around the holidays. I've seen people take long, skinny strips of tartan and wrap it around the tree like garland. So that's something you could potentially do. You could add some Celtic ornaments to the tree. Thomas the Tank Engine is British, so maybe a little Thomas the Tank Engine going around the bottom. Yeah.
Love the theme.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else tree related. Those are the only ones that kind of jumped out to me.
Okay. Should I jump in? Are you
Sure.
jumping out? So I'll jump in?
Are you going tree or are you going completely different?
I would go tree and then go completely different. So
Okay, let's do tree, then we'll do table.
okay. Table?
Yes, don't ruin it.
Okay. All right. Okay. If you want, basically, a Christmas tree is originally a Yule tree. It is originally a pre-Christian thing. The custom came over to the British Isles in the Victorian era. It was originally German. So there's really technically nothing Celtic about a Christmas tree, which means you can do whatever the hell you want. The tree is a symbol of life. It's a symbol of renewal. It has other symbology based on what spiritual thing you're talking about. My thinking is to Celtic it up, go with more natural ingredients. This is also, from a pagan perspective, it's also good for that. But from a Celtic standpoint, the tartan is good. I would suggest for the Christians in your family, they might appreciate using something like Bridget's crosses, which are technically a decoration and a craft for St. Bridget's Day, but there's no reason you can't use them for a holiday decoration other times of the year too. They're beautiful, they're rustic, they have a very wholesome feel to them, and you can make them at home. So you have a family activity, you can work into that too, and you can make them into Christmas tree / Yule tree ornaments. So that's my first suggestion as far as the tree is concerned.
I was also now you got me thinking you want more nature kind of thing, less tartan.
It's always nature as far as I'm concerned, but
fair. Sprigs of heather kind of in the tree to give it a color, a little bit of purple, little feel going on there.
Yep.
Exactly. Now, table. Table runner in tartan. So I'm going back to product / tartan stuff. Table runner, because it's a great visual representation of it. Table runner, napkins, tablecloths, maybe a little centerpiece of flowers with thistle or heather and that kind of stuff in it. I'm trying to think of anything else table or food related outside of the food, but dining related.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about food so much because we actually have a video on food planned. So we'll talk about that in about a month.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Anything else around the table?
This is food related, but it's not something I talk about in the food video, which is about Celtic comfort foods you can incorporate into the holidays. But very traditional food for the Yuletide is ham. The reason it's ham is because it goes back to eating boar in the Middle Ages. And you have the tradition of the boar's head, which was a profile. It was like a status symbol food. If you were wealthy enough, if you were a lord, in the Middle Ages, then you would have gone hunting for a boar, and you feed the boar, have it roasted for the company, and the head was presented to you as the trophy, as a trophy piece. So actually, ham or a pork product is very traditional. It also goes back to the pre-Christian roots because you slaughtered the hogs in the fall, and you often did it in a sacrificial way. So having a pig as food was a way of celebrating your success, celebrating the fact that your farm was healthy, that your family was healthy. So that's a very traditional thing to do.
Now, do you eat the head?
No, you could eat some meat off of it, but basically you would decorate it and.
Okay.
So I would say have ham but really gussy it up, make it beautiful. I think presentation is important for this kind of stuff.
Okay.
The other thing that goes with the table and everything else is fire. As a lot of you probably already know, Halloween or Samhain is a fire festival, so lighting things on fire is huge. Lighting things on fire is huge in Scotland around Christmas time because they kind of combined
the winter solstice.
Correct. They combine both Celtic and Norse traditions, and whereas Celts would burn things in the fall and the spring, Norse cultures burned stuff more in the winter. And so that's why if you look at Hogmanay, you have fireworks and you have all these fire festivals in various forms throughout Scotland. So the Yule Log is absolutely a tradition that applies to both pagan and Christian sides. One thing you can do with the Yule Log is to people I know will write wishes for the new year on slips of paper and then tie them into a ribbon which is wrapped around the log. Could be a tartan ribbon. And then when you burn the log, you're just basically watching the wishes and the log burn, and it just feels good. It feels like a sense of closure and also hope for the future. So
what's the big
fire? Lots of fire.
What's the big fire festival up in Orkney? Is it up Helya?
Yeah. Which is not related to the holidays. It comes later.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's a Christmas, New Year's thing, but it actually comes later.
When is it?
Do you remember? It's sometime in January.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. They swing a bunch of fireballs around and run.
Well, the fireballs that's a one town. I forget the name in Scotland where they march down the street.
Yeah.
Swinging these balls of fire on chains above their heads.
As you do.
So basically, the whole thing about the holidays is to remember that you're surviving the winter. You're prepared to survive the winter. And to celebrate the fact that the family is healthy. So fire is important, comfort food is important, good drinks are important.
Always.
Fruitcake. There's a lot of Celtic and Scottish, Irish and Scottish traditions of fruitcake-like foods. Again, it'll be in that video we're talking about. Make it yourself. It will be good. Trust me. Do not think that fruitcake is bad because of store-bought American fruitcakes. They are freaking delicious, especially if you soak them in brandy or rum for 3 months before you eat them. That is a fantastic, very traditional food to have for the holidays, whether you're being Scottish or Irish or something in between. So I could go on and on about this. There's a lot you can do.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of the traditions are definitely commingled. So your family, regardless of the mix of the spiritual outlooks, there's a lot of stuff you can all share at the same time because they've kind of, through wanton usage, have become a thing.
Yeah, and it's fun, religious as well as ethnic backgrounds. Whether my wife being Polish and Scottish and my German, and mixing all of those types of foods together. Food is kind of the common denominator with all different ethnicities and stuff. But mixing all of it together, that's the beauty of America, is being able to have all these different tastes of all these different cultures and kind of throw it all together and be like, ooh, that's really cool from that one, and that's really cool from that one. And, ooh, I never tasted this before. That one's awesome. So.
Yep. I think any activity where you're bringing the family together is good. So I think the the writing the wishes on slips of paper or the it's like why you light candles together for Hanukkah. That's why Jewish people do that.
Yeah.
Anything that brings people together. So.
I would say anything with food and alcohol is just as important, if not more.
Yep. And there's guising traditions, which are both Samhain and Yuletide, depending on what part of the world you're in.
Guising, as in
putting on disguise.
Right.
Yep. Traditionally, trick or treating in Ireland and Scotland, you had to perform a trick to earn the treat, which is something that you'll find in Christmas traditions in Wales, with the what's the name of that? The Merry Lude, which is this horse thing, which will come to your house and it will tell you, it'll ask you a riddle, and you have to answer, And if you fail to answer, then the Mary Lwyd and its entourage come into the house and take over the party. But honestly, whether you answer or not, they're there to party. So the Mary Lwyd comes in and people sing songs and they drink alcohol, like a punch or a mulled cider. And trick-or-treating for Samhain/Halloween used to be that too. Basically, kids would dress up in costume. They'd go around to the houses, either to hide from spirits or to represent spirits, depending on the interpretation. And you had to show your hospitality and respect for them. But in return, they had to do a trick to earn the treat. They had to sing a song or do a little dance or tell you a story or something like that in order to earn the treat. So it's not practical jokes. It's not like a threat. I'm going to play a prank on you. Give me candy.
Yeah.
It's no. I'm going to earn something by doing something nice for you. So I think that's a much better tradition.
So I have 2 takeaways. 1, kids today are too entitled. They don't do tricks anymore.
Maybe.
And 2, the what's the Welsh horse thing called?
Mary Lwyd.
Yes. So he's effectively like the high school jock taking over the party, like kicking down the door, like, "All right, guys, it's mine now."
If the high school jock was a skull of a horse with glowing eyes, then yes, it's Welsh.
Yeah. Yeah, all these all the German old German kids stories and all these old things. It's if you actually start reading them, it's scary. Some of the stuff that they were telling kids, what's the Rumpelstiltskin tore himself in two and all this weird stuff.
It was a scary world, man.
Oh man,
it was a scary world, and
weird
you wanted
stuff.
your kids to be able to deal with it. But I think the other big thing is the reciprocity. We are not as keyed into reciprocity in the modern society as they were back then. A gift for a gift, as we say.
That's fair. That's fair.
Hence earning the treat.
Yes, so we are too entitled.
Yeah, so I rambled a bit. I'm willing to elaborate on this online if it helps anybody. But there's so much you can do, and a lot of the stuff that you already do is actually based on either pagan traditions or old Celtic traditions, like a lot of holidays. So you're probably doing more than you think already.
And when you go trick-or-treating this year, do a little magic trick, little dance, do a little something.
Mm-hmm.
Just for them. Mm-hmm. Confuse people. Be like, it's part of tradition. It's fine. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Especially if you're a grown-up.
Hello, my rectangle.
Okay, kids, out of the way. Okay, sir, here. Have some more.
Please go away.
Thank you for coming. Happy Halloween.
Exactly. Damn kids. All right, Mr. Mac.
I shoot up a lot of time with that. I'm sorry.
There's some comments here. So I'm gonna go over some of those.
They're concerned for us.
I'm curious to know what other families out there do.
So there was suggestions to use the head of the pig to make head cheese later.
That sounds more Dutchy, but yeah.
That was
yeah.
Somebody, a stray cat, asked about candied haggis. Maybe
old
that's
stray cat.
Maybe we just start doing some candied haggis.
How about this? How about this, stray cat? Haggis with candy corn inside.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Or hard candy, so you get one and you don't know.
I just threw it in my mouth.
Maybe that could be a new jelly bean flavor. Haggis jelly beans.
You know what is a traditional sweet for the holidays though is mincemeat pie.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yep. That's another one which is pan British and Germanic mincemeat pie.
Yep.
Delicious.
I'm still stuck on the candy corn and haggis, or the little pumpkins.
Are you pro or anti candy corn? Because I'm pro candy corn.
I actually like candy corn.
I love candy corn.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I know a lot of people hate it.
Don't care. Yeah. People hate on candy corn. They're great for fake teeth.
You do that too?
Oh, of course. Everyone does it.
Awesome.
Yes.
Not everyone. My wife looks at me. She's like, "Really?
Again? Come on.
Again? Yeah.
Dads do it.
Point.
Max,
yep. Whoa.
Exactly.
Yep. And we do have Chuck said red and green ground effect lights on the bottom hem of his kilt.
Is that like you're guiding him in for entry? Is that like like a runway? I mean, there are kilted Santas. Ooh. There are a lot of kilted Santas out there. Clan claws.
Jonathan King, marshmallow chick flavored haggis.
Oh, now see, new video idea. Haggis recipes that should never be done.
A million and one things to do with haggis that you shouldn't.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, no. Okay. Haggis flavored whiskey. All right, next, Mr. Mac.
All right. So everyone probably runs into this problem. Ethan is asking.
Everyone?
I recently went to a concert in my kilt and basic accessories. I didn't realize they had metal detectors at the door. I had to remove my sporran, belt, kilt pin,
Yep.
and to explain the buckles on the kilt.
Yes.
It's that they don't come off.
Yep.
They let me through, but is there a way he could avoid this in the future?
Nope. Not the buckles.
Yes.
Casual kilt.
Casual kilt, sporran strap. There you go. Because it's and when big big bunky man, when the bouncer, it's quoting my specials there for you.
Big bonky man.
Big the specials. Come
I know,
on.
yes,
okay,
yes,
okay.
I know. Go. Keep
Ska
going.
reference. I'm sorry. When the bouncer comes up and says, he gives you a little wand up and down the back, and he's like, "What the hell are you wearing in front there?" It's my purse. It's my handbag. It's where I keep my stuff. And as long as you're, there's nothing in there that shouldn't be in there, and you don't have any metal in there, if you wear a sporran strap, which is the leather bit versus a sporran chain, that may allow you to slip through without, catching too much guff. A regular kilt or casual kilt, without the straps and buckles, it just has Velcro closure, something like that. Again, I'm thinking like airport hacks.
Right.
Transferred over to
Exactly.
Concerts.
Because airport is where I ran into it. I've always, I just take the sporran off and put it into the basket to go through the extra machine, and then when I get up to the walkthrough, I say, okay, be aware this garment has buckles here and here. They're going to set off the machine. And that's usually all it takes. I mean, as long as you're rehearsed in the spiel, you can usually get through okay. I've never had it happen at a concert, but maybe because concerts I go to, people are wearing so much metal on their person already that the bouncers are used to, that's obviously part of the outfit, that's part of the costume, whatever, okay.
Yeah.
I've had my bag checked all the time.
I'd say this.
But, and they'll check your sporran like they check a women's bag. But
I'd say there's a little bit of humor, if you're wearing a kilt with buckles, can go a long way. So when the bouncer just wands you and you say, look, there's buckles, I can unattach them, but you're not going to like the results, dude. Something to that effect. Generally, they're just kind of like, okay, fine, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not generally too much of a problem. It really depends on the bouncer.
Yeah.
And if he's got a problem with it, ask him to, don't be a Karen, but ask him, hey, look, this doesn't come unattached. This is my clothing. If you have an issue, can you bring the manager over and have him wand me and talk me through it? So.
Right. I think it's not too hard if they're rational. It's not too hard to help them realize that you're not sketchy. You're just a guy who's wearing this particular outfit.
Yeah.
I mean, they're looking for shivs. They're looking for weird stuff.
Yep.
So they'll figure it out.
Yeah, just be cognizant of what you have on you. If you have a knife or a little little knife on your keychain, make sure you leave that in the car.
Right.
Don't take extra keys. Don't take anything
Don't
extra.
wear a skin do.
Yes, don't wear a skin do. Just wear as little metal as possible, and you will probably slip through 99 times out of 100.
Yep.
If you get some guy with a wild hair, he's going to stop you. But if you explain you can't take the things off that you're wearing, he'll be fine.
Yeah. Rocky mentioned the casual kilt. That is a product that we make. I'm sure there are other similar things, but it's basically the closure system on it is Velcro, so there is no metal.
Yeah.
So it's a very good concert kilt. I will say that because you don't have to worry about it. It's a beat-up kilt, so it's very good for rowdier activities.
Indeed, rowdy, like the pit. Mm-hmm. The old windmill. I'm not going to windmill with Scotch here, but
And
yes.
you're not allowed to go crowd surfing in a kilt.
No,
remember?
No, I've done that. You can blind people. Mm-hmm. Yes.
He did. He actually did once.
Blinded Ken Casey from Dropkick. You're welcome. All right. Who was that? That was Mac. Mr. Eric.
Shall live in infamy. Okay. Adam Donaldson asked us, he says, thank you for doing a wonderful show. Thank you. Appreciate it. My question is, what are your thoughts on or experiences with ex-hire kilts? So like
ex-hire kilt.
Hire being the UK term, rental being the...
Yep. Basically, yes. Ex-hire kilts, ex-rental kilts are a thing. Let's start from the thought, the premise that He's asking for reasons of financial, wanting to get a good kilt.
He's looking for a bargain.
Yeah, looking for a bargain.
Get his feet wet.
Exactly. I'd say go on eBay, .co.uk to get the UK eBay if they're going to sell to US people. And you can look for X rental, look for the term X hire, and you'll be able to find maybe an 8-yard wool kilt in your size. You won't necessarily be able to get the right tartan that you necessarily want, and you may have to kind of fudge the size a little bit. The length may be a ½ inch or an inch off, but there are deals to be had, and I would rather see somebody looking for a deal on an X hire kilt than a cheap kilt on eBay, which there will be plenty of.
AKA like acrylic $50.
Yeah.
It falls apart as soon as you wear it.
Yeah.
Type stuff.
Yep.
From overseas. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's not a bad idea for getting your feet wet if you're on a budget, or if you need, or perhaps a secondary kilt because you want one to change the oil in your car, as our classic favorite weird example is like, they're changing the oil.
Or
in
wear
your
to
car.
concerts or beat up or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
But you will not have an easy time finding a lot of clan tartans. Most higher kilts are the big names. You want Campbell, you want McDonald, you're covered. If you want McGillivray or something, or Ross,
Johnston or Ross.
it's not as likely you're going to find it. And you'll find a lot of funky fashion tartans because that's how the rental companies roll, is by offering those, because it's easy to have a matching wedding party that way. So your choices are a little bit limited, and again, your sizing may be a little bit limited.
Yeah, and the generally hire companies will sell the kilts, try to offload their inventory. Basically, they're trying to find a sweet spot where it is beat up enough that they've gotten the full life out of it. It's been rented, 50 times. It's been dry cleaned 20 times, however often.
But it's still sellable.
But it's still sellable.
Right.
They don't want it so disheveled, so beat up, so knackered that you're going to get it and be like, what the hell is this? And they don't want holes in it and things like that. So they're trying to find it in a sweet spot. It's not going to be brand new, but it's going to be serviceable for a good price.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of to touch on your point about the general tartan or the universal tartans, a lot of the rental companies in the UK and some of the US are selling or renting, more universal generic tartans because it's more of a thing and more people will like it, and more people are looking for matching wedding colors, or at least not clashing with wedding colors. So there's a lot of grays, and a lot of companies will offer like a purple one, a blue one, a gray one, a black one, and then black watch, and then Royal Stewart or something like that.
Yeah.
So to cover a color range, because many younger Scots right now and Americans and things like that are looking to match based on a color palette, not necessarily rent based on their clan tartan.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there you go. Yes, a good deal can be had. You just got to really search for it, cross your fingers, and get lucky.
So endeth the lesson.
Indeed. Mr. Mack.
All right, let's
Neck is stiff,
see.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
For those are like the sound effects.
Yes, the cracking videos.
Tom's
Snap, crackle, pop.
I'm sure Tom's loving it.
We have Damian King asking, how do you determine whether or not a kilt is vintage, and why is vintage Highland wear so uncommon?
We could make a joke about this easily, but I don't know if you want to do a joke or a serious answer.
Why is vintage Highland wear so uncommon? It's... Again, I'll go back to eBay. You can find stuff on eBay for vintage stuff. It's clothing. Eventually, it will wear out. A lot of it just gets given to secondhand stores, and a lot of people don't, in secondhand stores, staff don't know what they have. So a man's kilt will end up in the women's section because they just think it's a skirt. Or a man's Argyle jacket will end up with the regular suit jackets because they don't know what it is. They're like, it's weirdly short, so here, I'll put it over here.
Yeah.
Because they're not educated like you guys are educated, like we're educated on this stuff. It may be easier to find in Scotland than it is here because it's more in the ethos. They more understand it.
Yeah.
But yeah. I wouldn't say it's necessarily too hard.
It
But
depends on where you are. I was talking to a gentleman a while back. Actually, it was one of our ambassadors, if I recall, who had said that he had the good fortune when he was getting started to be living in Canada, and he was able to find kilts in thrift stores. A fair number of them were former military, but he was able to find used kilts in thrift stores because they were more commonly worn up there. I think to some degree, so it definitely depends on where you are. In the UK, there's going to be more. In Canada, there's going to be more. In the US, less. I think there's also an issue of volume, because we're still dealing with the fact that serial kilters are kind of a newer phenomenon. Traditionally, you had one or two, and you wore it all your life, so it was never going to go to a thrift store until you're dead. You know, you get it basically like the cliche is that you get a kilt for your wedding, you know, or first communion maybe, you know, if you're really young and go through more than one in Scotland. Wedding, wear it for the rest of your life, maybe get buried in it. So there's not going to be as many showing up in the cycle of thrift stores as you might think.
Or pass it down through the family.
Or sometimes pass it down through the family if it's in good enough condition.
Yeah.
But this is also, but he makes a good point, because this is also why when you find some of the specimens that they have, they're invaluable. Like we talked about last month, we talked about the Kingusi kilt, which is actually part of a whole kilt suit, and that was such a find because it was very unique, and it was a survival from, you know, early 19th century. And it's just kind of like, whoa, we don't have that much. So even as recent history as that, you don't have as many examples as you'd like.
And it was in good condition because it was stored in a trunk, I believe.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Completely lost my thought. But yeah, it's I like a lot of the vintage. I feel your pain. I like a lot of vintage style, and it is absolutely making its way back around again. The Duke of Rothesay, you know, Prince Charles, like a lot of his elements of his outfit are old-timey, like classic traditional looks to them. So a lot of, like, we have our Rothesay sporran. We have a few sporrans that are inspired by traditional sporrans. We have some jackets that are kind of inspired by that. So yes, it's all coming back around. It is difficult to find original versions of the things, but I think if you, in the next few years, you're going to see it kind of evolve a little bit and become cyclical and start having more traditionally inspired, brand new versions of the thing.
And of course, thanks to all of us people like 30 years from now, we'll be finding lots of kilts in the thrift stores. Kilts have not been as ubiquitous as disposable fashion has been for the past 100 years. Yeah. So you just don't see as many examples of it.
Agreed.
Yes.
I also think it depends on what, like, the circles you're in. Like, so for, like, military, like, I see a lot of that. I see more Highland stuff in that aspect where you're getting badges, you're getting, you know, all the whole gamut of stuff. Even kilts, you're seeing a lot more of that headwear stuff. It's so.
You're talking for sale?
Yeah, I'm
just
saying it depends on where you're looking. You're gonna find it, but it's if you're going into your regular thrift shop, it's gonna be a real hunt and peck in there. Where if you're going to like something more like a military show, you're gonna see a lot lot more of that stuff.
Yeah, or high-end auctions will often have like old-timey high-end
auctioneers on eBay.
Yes,
antique dealers.
Richard Cook, guy from X Marks, he has like an uncanny knack to find beautiful old sporrans, old cantles. That's another thing you can do is look for old cantles and try to find someone who's going to rebag it or just put a new bag on the sporran. The other trick, so to speak, is look for things that it's not. So like plaid tartan skirt or Scottish skirt, things like that, because people who are trying to sell the vintage things don't know what they have and don't know how to accurately describe it. So you have to look for ancillary ways to describe the thing, to search for the thing, or tweed jacket. You may just want to look for tweed jacket, not a tweed kilt jacket. It's a lot of digging. You're a historical digger guy. What am I looking at?
Picker?
Yeah, there you go.
Archaeologist,
thank you.
But no, he just responded again. But he's asking, is there any visible variations between a vintage kilt and something we would have now? So
that's like it
was like a two-parter
different
type thing.
Question, didn't you? And we totally just went past that.
We're on with the second part.
Yep.
Well, that's a construction thing. That's more over to you
Yeah,
two. I'll let you guys answer that.
Yes, hand sewn, not machine sewn.
Different closure methods.
Different closure methods depending on how old the kilt is.
Yep.
Different amount of yardage depending on how old the kilt is. Different lining or lack of lining depending on how old the kilt is.
Less attention to lining up things in the back.
Yep. Less attention to the pleating. So yes, depending on the age of the kilt or the age you're looking for, yes, there are different variations. I mean, like a kilt has gone through an evolution from the great kilt where it's just literally a length of cloth up through a very, very highly tailored garment using current construction methods. So there's a lot of steps in between to get to where we are now. So it's one of those where, Mac, do you have any thoughts on anything I'm missing as far as the closure system, the buckle, or types of straps and buckles, the width of the straps and buckles?
It could usually be 2-prong, would be the older style.
Right.
The canvas.
But yeah, potentially you could have either a tartan, like we've saw some examples from that place in Philadelphia that was like early 1900s. They used tartan scraps as straps instead of leather.
I remember that.
Usually a white lining is usually another good key.
Yep.
And that could be a white it could be white anything. It was just usually a little bit taller, like lengthwise.
Yeah.
Little
Even though
rise,
people were
little higher
shorter,
rise
the
is a little
kilts
bit
were
higher.
longer a little bit. Yeah.
Even the color, I'd say the color. Some of the dyes are a little bit
bolder now.
Yeah. But once you see one, it's you'll get the feel for what the rest of them should look like.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can play with it, and you can have historical, remake historical kilts based on your exact specs, what you want in your kilt. But yeah, there's a lot of variation over the entire evolution of the garment. Does that make sense? Good. I'll pretend that makes sense too. All right, Mr. Eric.
I think we're gonna have to do a long show. We got a lot of questions here.
We always do.
I know.
I need more scotch.
Let me cut to one that I wanted to make sure we fit in before the end. Dustin asked us, "Are you guys aware of two fellers who call themselves the Kilted Coaches? They recently had new kilts made, and they're awesome, but also strange. Almost like they have 3 aprons or something. Do you have any insight on what these guys are doing?"
Yes. Kilted Coaches are 2 guys over in Scotland. They have a YouTube channel, and they do coaching for, basically lifting rocks and, working out in nature. They designed a tartan, had it registered recently, had it woven and made over in Scotland, and I didn't know what he was talking about. I saw their videos when they got the new tartan woven and made into kilts, but I didn't notice anything weird about it. And then I was watching one of their videos after we got the question and started looking at critically at the kilt when they were wearing it, working out, and it was like a weird flap kind of thing. So we reached out to them. Ta-da! A burning missive
Dun,
from
dun,
the Kilted
dun.
Coaches. Basically, I asked them, hey guys, we watch your stuff. We have a question. One of our customers was asking, or one of our viewers was asking, and their response about the flap, what I thought it was them just like tucking up an apron or something, so while they were doing squat thrusts or a particular exercise. But I was wrong. They came back and said, for our new kilts, we've gone for a specialist design to honor the great kilt. It's a drape edition that we attach that can also be worn up over the shoulder or can hang loosely at our sides. So, short email. But I think where they were probably going with it was A, something a little bit different, B, something, as they said, to honor the great kilt, and potentially C, to kind of cover the back of the kilt when they sit down, since they're out in nature doing their workouts and stuff, trying to, keep the kilt as nice as possible from mud and grass and that kind of thing.
Yeah, a sit upon, I would call it. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. I think now, having watched the video of where they picked up the kilts at the shop, they look like they're completely traditional, regular design, like 8-yard kilts. So I think that the thing that we're seeing in the photographs and that they're describing is an entirely separate thing.
of cloth.
It's not part of the kilt. It's like an apron-like or mini shawl, if you will, that they're wrapping around and playing with.
Yeah.
Now, if they have any kind of mechanical attachment points for it, that's not evident from what we've seen.
Yeah,
But
maybe like Velcro on the inside of the kilt or something like that.
or
just
something like that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool looking. I don't mind it. I don't like it either. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I can see-
It's something different.
Yeah, and let's face it, it's these are very, very down to earth, very nice guys, but it is partly presentation. This is their showmanship. You know, it's all they can do for showmanship because most of the time they're topless. But well, I guess the muscles are the show. Let's face it.
Yeah.
And the rocks, rocks are part
We,
of the show.
we don't want to show them up. That's why we got to keep these on. Yeah. It's there's too much sex appeal in this whole frame right here. Yeah, indeed. All right, Mr. Mack, we'll do one more from you, then we'll do the sneak preview.
Sneak preview.
Dun dun dun.
So we have Chugwater Jack on YouTube.
That's the name for the day.
For
Chugwater
formal
Jack.
wear, what shirt / collar and tie for a regulation doublet, not a military doublet, would you recommend?
Regulation doublet.
Regulation doublet.
Which collar? A regulation doublet is basically a Prince Charlie with flaps. So
Tassets.
for what?
Tassets.
Tassets.
Extra tassets.
Being all technical and fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it has a 3-button waistcoat with lapels in the waistcoat. So for that, you would wear essentially the same thing you would wear with a Prince Charlie, a wing collar, dress shirt with a placket over the buttons, ideally, so you don't have the studs or the buttons showing, and a bow tie. It's just a slightly fancier version of a Prince Charlie.
Yeah, pretty much. There are more people playing around with using a higher cut Argyle, what we would call an Argyle type waistcoat with both PCs and regulation doublets. I think it looks better with a regulation doublet than with the PC, frankly. And it's kind of a funky thing that's come out of, again, the kilt hire agencies in Scotland have started promoting this. So with that combination, you could possibly wear a necktie, or you could possibly do a jabot if you want to be really radical about it.
Yeah.
A lot of people poo-poo ruche ties. Points if you want to do a ruche tie by actually tying a tie into a ruche knot by hand. But you could, with a higher waistcoat, you could play around with some other things, and I think it might look kind of cool. But if you're using the low-cut PC type waistcoat, which is usually sold with the regulation doublet, yeah, it's a bow tie and wing collar shirt.
Yeah, I would say this: if I'm wearing a higher vest and like an Argyle vest, a 5-button vest that is less showing, I would still probably wear a bow tie because it is still a formal jacket versus a necktie, which is less formal.
Yeah, I was just trying to think outside the box a little bit.
Yeah, understood.
I almost want to say it could be fun with a jabot. The way you would wear a jabot with like a Sheriff Muir
Potentially.
or a Montrose. But
Yeah. I'm
but-
not a big jabot fan.
I know you're not, but I think the antiquated styles are definitely getting more popular.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the high end
Muir, the
formal end,
Kenmore, yep.
even more romantic end of the Peaky Blinders effect, the vintage effect that we talk about for day wear.
Yeah, it's whether it's great kilts, whether it's Kenmore doublets, whether it's everything we were just talking about, whether it's the vintage style, all kind of coming back around again. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean a regulation doublet for all the world looks like an Argyle doublet you'd see around the turn of the century, or even like in the 1890s. It really is actually technically more traditional as a design than a PC, which, as we noted before, was kind of a new hybrid idea that came out of the Jazz Age.
Yep, 1920s-ish.
Yeah,
Yep.
those fancy satin lapels.
So fancy.
Yeah, so fancy. Fancy.
Indeed. We want to do one more question, or should we jump into the...
Why don't we do the video and it'll give us a little chance to chat about it, and we can do a couple more questions after, see if anybody, or if anybody has questions born of the preview, we can
Indeed.
answer those.
So, boys and girls, prepare yourselves. Hold on to your seats. Here is the preview for Eric and Rocky Invade Celtic Classic. So today, Eric and I are going to kind of run around, show you guys a little bit behind the scenes stuff, show you what going to a Celtic festival is all about.
It really is community. If you've never gone to a festival, even if it's a small one, go. You owe it to yourself.
And I don't want to have a 50-pound sporran by the end of the day, or
Right.
walk around with 10 t-shirts tucked around my belt like Batman. They are there to help you connect with your heritage.
Well, it's really nice to have this connection with my grandparents, great-grandparents, people who I never actually met, who I feel closer to.
You're the end of the line. If you don't make it happen from here, for my family, it's not going to happen.
Rock Eileen!
Courage!
The community. That is what this is all about.
And I just cried. It was like, you can have all the cookies, baby. I just wanted to give him all the cookies.
And I absolutely love it. I love it more than anything you could ever imagine.
I have a lot of cool memories here. Now I'm going to get choked up. That's about it.
Or you can just feel the nature on your face.
SpongeBob. So, this video is going to be premiering next Friday, October 15th. If you're watching this after the fact, it'll have already gone. So, what was your favorite and least favorite part of doing the live show, capturing all the stuff at Kilt Classic?
You mean actually doing the filming?
Yes.
I was supposed to say, okay. I really enjoyed goofing around, to be honest.
Yeah.
You don't see as much of it, but the, you know, being in front of a camera brings out the ham.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a lot of fun.
Never.
Well, not in my reactions is also people's reactions. I was like, hey, we're filming you, and they're like, oh, you know, and just having fun with it. And that dovetailed with me getting to see friends I hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And you make friends when you're out filming someplace. You know, there was a woman who came up to you who we could have sworn was like some old friend of yours, and we couldn't remember her name. It turned out she didn't know you from Adam.
The drunk lady.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was hysterical. There's no footage of it that you'll never see the light of day, but she was all over you.
Oh,
it was funny.
Oh, it was painful.
So I think that's the thing. It's the way, just enjoying the way people react to the camera was a lot of fun, and it's like if some of them are nervous and some of them are just kind of leaning into it, and it was an icebreaker in a weird way. It was kind of like an icebreaker, so it was fun from that standpoint. The
not worst but weirdest to kind of get used to part was having, you know, being on camera, having people follow us around with the camera, and having people look at you just like, you know, oh, they're filming something. Oh, what are they doing? Oh, and it's kind of like, you know, we're sitting here in a studio now, so it's you know, it's different than being out in nature with a bunch of people staring at you, because you're on film and trying to act normal with the camera pointed at you and people staring at you simultaneously.
You know, we got a lot of what the hell?
Yeah, what are you
know,
doing?
That's kind of like,
The best part for me was being able to enjoy Celtic Classic again.
Right.
And being out of the booth for a day and a half and being able to run around and, you know,
actually
visit
seeing
all
what
the
it looks
vendors.
like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the funniest part of specifically Celtic Classic for me is people will come into the booth when I'm working and be like, you know, hey, do you know where this stage is or where this vendor is? Because I'm looking for this thing. And I'll be like, lady, these four walls, this 20 by 30 tent is all I see all weekend.
Yeah.
So I know, you know, people just assume that we know where things are and what's going on and where to get to and how to get to them.
Right.
So
Right.
being able to see parts of the festival I've never seen before because I've always been working, and being able to interact with people, that's the coolest part to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was we had a perfect excuse to try and see as much of it as possible.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
It's fun. It's hopefully you guys dig the video when it actually comes out. We tried to encapsulate what it's like to go to a festival. You know, what you should bring when you go to a festival, what types of things you're going to see there, get a bunch of B-roll, that kind of stuff, and really why you should care. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
that's the crux of the whole thing, is to support the culture and move it all forward.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the fun part.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Indeed.
Really good time.
Yeah, I loved it.
So that's gonna be Friday the 15th
15th. Yep.
at 3 p.m. That's why I was getting confused. So the same time you're used to tuning in for one of these things next week, 3
Yep.
p.m.
1
And
week
we are
from
doing
today.
a premiere, so we will be there to comment a bit.
Yep. Tippity typity.
Yep.
Indeed.
Tippity tappity.
Indeed.
So
All right.
my turn or Mac's turn?
Let's do one more from you. I think it's your turn.
Okay. From me.
Yes.
This person right here.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, this is on the first page. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I know it's here. There it is. Michael Vernon is going to school to be a pilot. So he's in a uniformed world. He's in school right now, but even when he gets out, it's going to be a uniformed world. So he said, what would you recommend to someone who's considering becoming a serial kilter? He's really into it, but has to work in a uniformed industry. And I'm not sure what help we can offer in some ways.
Yeah.
You got to wear what you're supposed to wear according to the boss. So
Yeah. That's a tough one, because like my heart and my head go to different places. Where I want to tell you, this is part of your heritage, you should be able to do it, and equal rights and all that kind of stuff. You should be able to wear unbifurcated garments. But at the same time, if it's an employment at will state, they don't have to allow you to do certain things. So that's why I'm torn on it. I would say this: don't let it stop you from wearing it outside of work hours. I mean, work hours are 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. So if you're going to go out for dinner, if you're going to do it on the weekends, sure, great, do it then, if they won't allow you to do it. Now, it's a much bigger commitment, shall we say, but looking for an industry that would allow you to wear it, but you're going into an industry where, no, they have regulations. You have to follow the regulations.
Right.
So maybe if the pilot's, outfit is like tan pants, maybe you can get away with like a tan utility kilt or something.
I don't think
but
so.
It's still,
I don't think so.
you're still skirting the rules.
Skirting the rules, get it?
That wasn't on purpose. But yeah, I would say don't let it stop you. You can still wear it outside of your job, but the job and making money is more important to some degree, because that's what affords you to be able to buy the kilts.
Yeah. Real life has to come first sometimes.
Yeah.
I would say now in his specific situation, since he's going to pilot school, and presumably he will succeed and be a pilot, he's going to be in the air a lot and bouncing around from city to city. So I would consider, since you're kind of relegated to wearing this stuff in your off time, make sure that you have kilts that are lighter weight and easy to pack. So when you get to the hotel in Vegas or wherever you're flying to, and it's suddenly now it's your time to relax and you have a day off or whatever, you can whip out the kilt from your carry-on and change and enjoy yourself. Make your kit simplified, streamlined, easy to pack. So, if you get into serial kilting and have a big collection, it may mean that when you're home, you're switching it out and you're not taking that many kilts with you each time, because I know that these guys tend to pack really light.
Right.
And they're on the move constantly. But that's basically the only advice I can offer is to try and give yourself a kit that you can enjoy even if you're away from home when you're working that job.
Yeah.
Other people, the uniform might have strict regulations and then guidelines. Like you can wear a tartan tie. You have to wear a tie. It could be a tartan tie. You have to wear pants and you have to wear a shirt, but there's nothing that says you can't have, a kilt pin on your vest as flair. There are ways to get some heritage into it and some style into it, if not the kilt itself.
How many pieces of flair is he allowed to have on his vest?
As a pilot, all the flair. I don't know. But you know what I mean. It's like other people work
get
in
it.
the service industry or stuff. Sometimes there's guidelines. Or in the medical industry, sometimes they encourage them to have a little bit of personality in the uniform because it's nice for the clientele or the patients. This is why designer scrubs are a thing, in the nursing industry. So there might be ways to play with it. Yes, Mac?
Now, And a quick search on the Googles.
Uh-oh.
If he would work for EasyJet or what was the other one here real quick? JetBlue?
Sure.
They both have it is JetBlue. They both have tartan.
But would they allow him to wear it? That's the thing.
EasyJet, they have as they show their pilots in wearing kilts, and they show
You're
their
kidding.
stewardess with tartan jackets.
Well, there you
So-
go.
You know
There-
which
now
two
you know where
companies to
go
apply
now.
to. Absolutely.
He mentioned his school has an official tartan too, but he hasn't been able to get a hold of the school tartan as a product, and we know how that goes. Okay.
Now the
Good to
broader
know.
question.
Good to know.
The broader question of forget him, forget that guy. You're not in pilot school. You're just in an industry where you're not allowed. It's a uniformed industry. You can't wear a kilt. You can still wear a kilt to work and change when you get. If you really want to thumb your nose at
that's
them,
kinda where I was
You
going.
can wear your kilt to work, or as soon as you're done your shift, change and walk out that way. And
Right.
if your boss thinks it's cool, he may say, "Hey, that's awesome," and you may be able to strike up a conversation and find a middle ground. Maybe on specific holidays, you might be able to wear it in. They may be able to relax the rules a little bit. Or he may say, like, "What are you doing?" And be like, "I'm off the clock. I'm just going home. I'm going out to dinner. I'm allowed to wear a kilt. I'm off the clock now."
Yep.
But yeah, don't lose your job over it unless you don't care about your job. If you don't care about your job or your boss is a jerk, then screw it. Do what you want to do.
Yeah. I have another answer for him.
Go ahead.
Boxer kilt.
Boxer kilt.
He could wear the boxer kilt.
What is a boxer kilt?
You don't remember this? Somebody asked us about this last month, and we weren't sure if we were going to answer the question because somebody asked about boxer kilts. A boxer kilt is a newfangled startup. They're doing a GoFundMe or whatever to try and get this company off the ground. It is briefs underwear with a hole in the front to allow ventilation, and that which is protruding through the hole is covered by this apron,
Modesty flap.
a modesty flap, if you will. And they do it in tartan, and they call it a boxer kilt.
I wouldn't wear that on the job. That might
But
actually end up getting you fired.
It's inside your pants. Nobody's going to see it. That's my point.
Okay. I
It's
thought
a
you meant
secret
just
kilt.
that.
No.
Like, hey guys! Woohoo!
No, that's
Peekaboo!
that's the kilted, kilted coaches.
Yeah.
It's on the special channel. No,
That's the OnlyFans.
only Scots. I don't know.
No! Please don't make that happen. Don't make
It's like,
that a thing.
I'm
No.
just imagining. I was like, oh, I got my kilt.
Very good. All right. Enough of this. We've gone off the rails far enough. All right, boys and girls, question of the day. When you go to a Celtic festival, what is your favorite part? What parts of the festival do you want to see expanded? Is it the Highland Games? Is it the music? If it's the music, what band? Is it traditional? Tell us what your favorite part of the Highland Games are and why they're your favorite part.
Right.
We want to know. Tell us in the comments.
Cool.
Until next time, boys and girls, Slanjava.